Yes, guys, what's up? So, I wanted to do a video on Kell, Brook and Diego Chaves. The other day, going back about, I'd say about 2 to 3 days ago, I was having kind of a discussion about Kell, Brook and who his current opponents have been recently and who he's going to be facing next. And I'm gonna be honest, I've not been impressed with Kell Brook at all. Not impressed with him with his opponent selection, whether it's him or it's the promotional company Eddie Hearn. I fucking hope I don't get in shit for fucking saying all this. But look, man, the thing is, right? Kell Brook, he's a talent. He's a real good talent and he's a real good fighter. But you see, the issue is with Kell Brook, he isn't fighting the caliber of opponents that he should be fighting for his level. You know what I'm saying? And the talk of the town, and someone said that he's potentially fighting Diego Chaves, and that's the rumor going around. Diego Chaves is the opponent. I'm gonna tell you something. Diego Chaves is a better fight than Brandon Rios. Diego Chaves is a better fight than Juan Manuel Marquez. You see, Diego Chaves, right? This guy is a very lethal fighter, a very underrated fighter. And I'm gonna say this, like I said on my Twitter, that he is the most underrated fighter in the 147-pound division. Which guy can go toe-to-toe with Keith Thurman for that amount of rounds and really put it on Keith, like make it extremely difficult for Keith Thurman and not get the credit? I don't know why, but I think it's because he doesn't speak English. He rumbled with Brandon Rios, good rumble. Like, he's an outside fighter, he's an inside fighter. He's that broke bad boy in the 147-pound division who doesn't speak English. I would like to see Marcus Maidana versus Diego Chaves. I think that's a badass fight. I don't think that's easy for Maidana. But the thing is, right, the point I'm making is that this guy, he can rumble with Kell Brook and make it a very good fight. And if Kell Brook underestimates Diego Chaves, man, he ain't gonna walk through Diego Chaves, I'll tell you that much right now. But let me reverse it back a little bit, right? And let me just reverse it back just a little bit, and I'm gonna say, like, I'm talking like this. The opponent selection of Kell Brook has been Giorgio Dan and Frankie Gavin. Okay. Now, people say, "Oh, forget looking at them as two separate opponents. Look at the package of Kell Brook. You've got to look at a person's entire career. You can't just look at one certain period. Like, I don't even want to mention Khan with Kell Brook because they're separate fighters. Like, yeah, there's a rivalry going on, but I'm gonna say this, man. Look. With Khan and with Kell Brook, right? There's this thing that they get compared because they're arch rivals, yeah. And stylistically, Kell Brook might knock Amir Khan out, but do you know? I'm not saying he would, but I'm saying he might, right? But I'm gonna say this: do you know? Even if he knocks Amir Khan out, he hasn't faced nowhere near the opposition of Khan. That doesn't give him a better resume than Khan, even if he beats him, because people look, oh, he fought Alexandre Collazo. Well, firstly, Collazo, right, is a lethal fighter, a dangerous fighter. He's not won the top matchups, but he's given them a run for their money. All of them: Keith Thurman, Ricky Hatton, Andre Berto. I mean, just look at the name I just named there, Ricky Hatton. He gave Ricky Hatton a run for his money. People felt he won. Ricky Hatton, we're talking. Now, if that ain't a good fight, I don't know what the hell is. People say he's over the hill. If he's so over the hill, why is it that he gave Keith Thurman such a damaging body shot? And I'm going to say this, he had Keith running around that ring, right? Not boxing, running. The difference between boxing and running, Keith Thurman was severely on his back foot running. And yeah, he won the fight, but and he made Collazo give up, but come on, Collazo was a formidable opponent for Khan, and the way Khan dismantled him, unbelievable. And then Devin Alexander, elite level, at least top 5, top 10 at least. Devin Alexander's a good fighter. Chris Algieri beat Ruslan Provodnikov and Emmanuel Taylor, top tier opponent. Compare them three to Giorgio Dan, Frankie Gavin. Ain't no comparison. The only thing on Kell Brook's career, right, that is significant is Sean Porter. But the thing about Sean Porter is, on Kell Brook's career, is that Sean Porter win, he only just beat Sean Porter. He only just beat him. It was a very competitive fight, and you got to look at that. He didn't dismantle him and finish him off. It was very competitive. But the thing is, Amir Khan, in his entire career, has never beaten a fighter like Sean Porter. The only one that comes to mind is Marcus Maidana. He's the only fighter that Amir Khan's beaten that you could potentially say is better than Sean Porter, but I don't personally say it. I don't think that Marcus Maidana at that time was as good as Sean Porter was when Kell Brook faced him. So, but you see, styles make fights, and Kell Brook did only just beat him, so you can't go off that and say that, yo, because of that, Kell Brook's got a strong resume, because he's faced like opponents with like hundreds and hundreds of losses, and he faced them several times, and that's what his record's like. You look at his record, and that's how it is. So, easy. Anyway, right, look, check it right. Kell Brook, if he fights Diego Chaves, right, and beats Diego Chaves, Kell Brook then goes from here to here, because not only has he beaten one opponent, he's done it twice, right? Because you know, like they say, sun shines even on a dog's ass on some days, right? But if he does it twice, it's no longer a coincidence, or because I don't think Sean Porter was a coincidence. I think like Kell Brook, he genuinely won that fight. You gotta give him credit for him, and you gotta rate him. But you see, thing is, if he beats Diego Chaves, that's another style he's beaten, a totally separate style, a good fighter, hard fighter. Brandon Rios for me wouldn't do it, because Rios, yes, is a good fighter, and I've done interviews with Rios, a really good guy, but I'm gonna say this. He's not as versatile as Diego Chaves, and he doesn't stylistically pose as much of a threat to Kell Brook as Diego Chaves does. Diego Chaves can outbox him, he can rumble him, he can make it difficult for Kell Brook. Kell Brook's not gonna have an easy time. And he's a good welterweight as well. He's not really that small at the weight from what I see. So that's a good fight. A very good fight. Do I think Kell Brook beats him? I'm not going to say just yet. Will I be backing my British boy Kell Brook up, Sheffield boy, even though he probably hates me? Yeah, I'm backing Kell Brook all the way, man. I thought I'm not backing no Diego Chaves, man. Backing Kell Brook. But you see, Kell Brook, if he wins this fight, he goes from a 0 to 100 real quick, right? Because the Sean Porter fight, in my opinion, is what made Kell Brook even a formidable 147-pounder. Before that, he was nothing. He was a nobody before that. After that win, he's gotten some sort of excuse me, he's become some sort of a threat. 147 pounds. He's becoming no, not a threat. He's become a very formidable opponent for anybody at 147 pounds and recognised in the welterweight division. But you see, if he beats Diego Chaves as well, right, that makes him not just a contender, it makes him one of the elite level top 147 pounders, because he's beaten a solid fighter again. Okay, but you see, the problem with Kell Brook is, and I don't understand why he does this. Say if he goes to face Diego Chaves and clarts him up, right, and beats him, chances are he's gonna go face a Leonard Bundu next, or a crap fighter. Like, and I don't get why he's doing this. Like, why would you face back-to-back Jojo Dan, who's your mandatory? Why take that mandatory now? Why not wait and see what happens with your mandatory? Because it's very, you know what, mandatories and stuff nowadays, man, I don't know what the hell's going on with it. You have supers and, you know what I mean, I don't know what the hell's going on with the rankings, and I don't know how these things work anymore. Like, it's just constantly changing. Thing to me is this: why didn't Kell Brook just delay that fight? Why didn't he take on a better fight? Well, he had his leg injury, so he thought, you know what, I might as well take John. Okay. But then why take on Frankie Gavin as well? Like, why? Why do that? Why not fight a better fighter? Why Frankie Gavin? Like, why? Like, it just spoils the entire resume of Kell, but it just makes it look rubbish. Like, everything that he's, like, he hasn't done much here apart from Sean Porter, let's be honest, right? But obviously as a boxer, he's done loads and you can't knock it. But in terms of like elite level, we're talking elite boxing here, yeah? In terms of elite boxing, and compared to people is getting compared to Keith Thurman, Khan, even Mayweather, right? He hasn't done shit in boxing apart from Sean Porter. Apart from that, right, look, man, you gotta say this, you know, jumping in a ring, right, that takes balls alone. I could go on that vibe, right, but we're talking elite level boxing here. So my point is, Kell Brook needs to redeem himself, because he's had 2 shite fights, cherry pick crap, rubbish, not even stylistically like good fights, or not even top tier opponents who are stylistically easy to beat. He just faced 2 crap, lowly ranked fighters, really bad fights. Nobody in the welterweight division in the top 10 has taken fights like that, really. Mayweather, Pacquiao, Thurman, Khan, no, but none of them like on the top elite level, right? Even Guerrero, all these guys, they're still facing decent level fighters. Danny Garcia's even faced Paulie Malignaggi, who was an okay fighter. So my thing is this, right? Kell Brook, he really needs to get himself a good fight next, and there's no excuse, and it has to be Diego Chaves, in my opinion. I think if he's going to pick someone else, right? If he's going to pick someone else, it has to be a top elite level fighter. I'm not settling, and I don't want to hear about easy stylistic fights for Kell Brook and blah blah blah, because I'm done with that. I just want to see a top fight for Kell Brook, because he's got the talent to beat them all. I don't know if it's his fault or if it's team's fault, but he needs a top tier badass fight, and he just needs it. He really needs that fight, that breakout fight like was Sean Porter. But now he needs a second. He needs to constantly fight on the elite level, beat a bunch of opponents. It's like I said, right? And sun can shine on a dog's ass on a good day, right? But you know, in boxing, it's not about winning one fight. It's about winning several fights constantly, again and again, and that's how you get remembered as a top tier fighter and a legend in boxing. That's what you've got to do: beat fighter after fighter after fighter after fighter. And if you're not even fighting top 10 opponents, how how can you be ranked in even like top 10? You can't. You've got to fight them top tier elite level opponents, and I think Kell Brook, I think he's got all the talent, and it's sad that his opponent selection lets him down. But that's the only thing I can think of that lets Kell Brook down, and apart from that, he's, in terms of in the ring, he's a very good fighter, very good. He can adjust to lots of different styles. His footwork's there. He's got a good snap. He's got decent speed, but his boxing IQ is really there. It's going to be difficult for any fighter, whether that's apart from Mayweather and I'd say Pacquiao, Keith Thurman, Khan. They're the real names now in boxing at top 10. Even Sean Porter rematch. I mean, none of these guys, right, are going to easily wipe out Kell Brook. They're all difficult fights for them. Sorry, Kell Brook is a difficult fight for all of them. Diego Chaves is going to be a good competitive fight. But let's see. Comment section below, subscribe as always. What do you guys think of the Diego Chaves fight? I think stylistically it's a really good fight. Diego Chaves can box, he can brawl, he's going to make it difficult. He's got work rate, he's a bad boy, he's a bit of a rough fighter. And we've seen Kell Brook struggle in the past with Carson Jones, but I think that was due to fitness and stuff. I don't think he'd struggle against Carson Jones if he rematched him again. If they've had, like, I don't know how many fights, right? I don't know why you'd have that many fights against Carson Jones, but it is what it is. Comment section below, subscribe as always, let me know what you think. Diego Chaves, Kell Brook, if this fight gets made and Kell Brook beats him, you know, he's just gonna, I'll rate him, man. And you know what, like, he's a good fighter, Kell Brook, man. He's a good fighter, so you gotta give him his due. Comment section below, subscribe as always, BeReal TV, and